Hello, beautiful beings. So nice to have you here today. I'm excited to be doing a reading for you. Today's focus is on the energies of death and rebirth. I noticed that there's been a lot of death transition in the last few years, and I am a death doula myself. Always interested in the energies around death, and I'm finding that there might be some release that needs to happen. Now, with any ending, whether it's the ending of a physical life or an ending of a job or a relationship or any of that, that's the intention of today's reading. This is a general reading, so we're just picking up on the general energies that are necessary for you to know as it relates to a death and rebirth process. All right, so yeah, this is a clear reading, so it's going to be a clearing and a reading simultaneously, and we'll see what comes through. So we're going to start with our medicine cards. All right, we are starting off hot and heavy with Transfiguration, which is basically the Tower card, same in this deck. This is number 22, and so this is the energy around death that we're experiencing, those of you tuning into this video. Now, we're going to see where it is that we're going with the renewal. Anima Mundi, soul world, okay? And what does the third energy want us to know? The third energy in this situation. The Magician. Okay, so we know that there's going to be a sudden upheaval that is happening, or you're in the midst of a sudden upheaval. It's probably how you found this video. This is the energy of transfiguration. Now, death is a sacred process. The ending is a sacred process. When things come to an end, especially a physical death, it really is symbolizing something very powerful, because so many it takes a lot of energy to die. It takes a lot of energy to leave a relationship, just as much as it is to build one. And I think we forget that, we so often like, oh, so I'm getting a new job and there's all this built and training, and then it's just like, you're fired. Or, some death processes, physical death processes, are slower, and there's hospice, and some of them are quite sudden. Either way, they create this intense energy of transfiguration and transformation is also what I want to say. This actually really reminds me here of the movie Aladdin and like Jafar's cobra. So the kind of the cobra energy that I'm getting from this thing is this just like getting out of the villain era, getting out of like an old frame of being and of life, and welcoming in a new higher consciousness. There's nothing from that old way of being that is sustainable anymore. Those old parts of you, like that all has to be released, because we're coming to Anima Mundi, which is soul world, which is dragon's blood, which is also a protector. So I like that there's some protector energies as to where we're going. All right, now what's about this soul world that we need to look at is that I really feel like this is the new earth. So a lot of the endings and things that people are experiencing now is because they're not sustainable with the energies that we are cultivating moving forward. And what the third energy wants us to know is that we are magicians within this process. So at any given moment, you have the choice to choose your perspective. You can choose if you are the villain in the story. You can choose if you are the hero. You can choose if the person who's creating this situation for you is the villain, or if they are the hero. You can also neutralize it. As the magician, you have so much power to kind of look at all of these elements, old, bad, poison, toxic, and see how you are going to transmute them. So this is a really great card. This card has come up so often lately, and I just really think it's because we are all in these alchemical processes. And if you haven't woken up to your true magician, it is time. This is the invitation to wake up that sorcerer, sorceress, enchanter, enchantress. Like, it's time to wake it up so that we can really start to move forward. I'm going to explore the internal energies around this situation, and we're going to do it as is it in relation to the death. And then we're going to do it as is in relation to the rebirth. Wonderful. Okay, and what does the shared energy want us to know? Great. Okay, so in the midst of transfiguration, what I really hear here, okay, this is why I keep referring to like I'm seeing like that ending scene in Aladdin, right? It's just, there's so much magic coming on, and it's like, who's the real genie and who's the real sorcerer? Like, and discerning, like, are you using your thoughts? Are you using your intentions? Are you using your emotions? Are you using your actions? Like, on all layers of your being, are you aligning with the gold that you want to create? Are you aligning with this new world that you want? And what have you been doing to build this skill set? Now, what I like about this card is, I believe it's the tale of the miller's daughter, who weaves yarn into gold or something like that. Maybe that's it. No, that's wheat. I don't know. Regardless, we're turning an ordinary thing into gold, okay? Which is the alchemical process in its very essence, right? You take these you create gold. Now, this is a metaphor for, I mean, they say that the alchemists can truly do it. I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet, but I don't deny it. But what creating true gold is taking any experience and making it assist you towards becoming better. Now, there's a lot of different type of people in the world, and there's some who just, they let earth break them. They let this life and this body break them. And I've been in that position in spots where I'm just like, I feel broken. But I've also I've never truly believed that, because I know I've got so much more work to do, and I know that I have so much more light to shed. And once I'm able to break out of that limited thinking and reconnect to the enchantress that I am, that's when I start the alchemical process. Now, I would say every low does come with a high if you're conscious of wanting to create gold simultaneously. I am a sacred clown, a heyoka, as they say, and I love this idea of being an acrobat of the light. I can go to the lows of lows. I have journeyed through the depths of hell, mostly with other people, as they transfigure those things. And then I bring them up little by little. And it's not just, they're bringing themselves up, but I'm by their side helping with the alchemy of that process. Now, I have to be very careful for myself and my own soul journey that it doesn't take me down and keep me there forever. And that's, I think we can all have traumatic things happen to us, but are we going to be dictated by that trauma, or are we going to allow that as a part of our story that we get to continue to work with and overcome? I've went to these depths, and now I'm coming to these heights. And of course, you've got to have a proper process to do that. It's a multi-dimensional layered thing. You've got to do the somatic work, the breath work, the dance, the movement. You've got to talk with a therapist. You've got to journal and write and contemplate and then dance some more. There's so many ways to alchemize, and these are all just medicine. You got to work with the energy healers and your dreams. Like, the more multi-dimensional you get with the healing process, not only does it faster are you able to create gold, but the faster the general process moves. We're not meant to be stagnant in our pain. Our pain is something there that can help teach us and help guide us forward. What I've noticed more than anything is a lot of the pain is just like an indication of, oh, this is not the state of being that I need to remain in. I can make a shift. So really beautiful. Now, the rebirth energy here is the wild heart, which is the fool. I was just talking about being a fool, right? Oh, what a fool I've been. How great to have been a fool. Because those who are fools are open. They're able to explore the world with an open heart almost every day. They're not letting the life take us down permanently. I remember when my clown professor, for the first day of clown, he's like, being a clown is being buoyant. It is this ball like floating on top of the water. It is at the balance point of not flying through the air or being submerged. It is on the water. That is what the clown is. Now, but the clown expresses the journey of, well, the struggle going down and the coming up and soaring through the air and feeling the joy. But it's like, oh, the you know, like there's this huge expression. This is being an acrobat of the light. And that is what we're here to do, because Earth is intended to be a playground. It is, we are meant to be abundant. We are meant to be free. We are meant to feel this joy and ease, and we are meant to be living joyfully. All right. And I love the card that came out is the Keeper of Boons, right? This is the King of Pentacles. This is someone who has worked aggressively with Badger. Badger is the aggressive healer. Badger it's in the roots, it's in the depths, and then it comes out to surface, right? So what I love about these two cards working together specifically is that, like, the, you know, magician like knows his alchemy, you know, he's doing this work in spirit, but this is an indication to me that even though this is the internal energy, it is being physicalized. It is coming into being. So whatever this death and rebirth process that you are in is truly alchemical, and you're working with someone or something that is helping bring it. Now, I think through my own journey, and I'll just apply it because this is a general reading, so it applies to me as well. This card could represent a man in your life. It could represent a father figure passing. My dad passed a couple years ago, and it has been a huge lesson of teaching for myself. And I did a whole alchemical comedy show on it. It brought me into some deeper understandings of financial movement and clearing intergenerational wealth and carrying on a legacy and kind of assessing all these different levels. And so it's like with any death and rebirth process, it's like, how are you processing the big multi-dimensional levels of what is going on? Now, I really do feel like, especially, not all of the plant medicine cards represent tarot cards, but this represents the magician, this represents the tower, and this represents the world. So these all coming up, it shows that whoever is watching this video is going through a massive process. Now, and then you also get the Fool here, Major Arcana, and while this isn't Major Arcana, this is King energy, right? So, and it feels like the Minor Arcana of the Magician or the Emperor. So again, very strong masculine component. It shows me that there's some structure being birthed through this death and rebirth process. Really beautiful stuff. Okay, now we're going to check in with the external energies with the Seers of Light deck. And we're going to see how this shows up in the death world. Okay, so the physical energy around death is Two of Wands. Okay, so this shows me that there's really an assessment of like what comes next. Is this opening up to world travel? Is this opening up to seeing more things? Where are we going? All right, the rebirth energy is the Star. Very beautiful. Another major arcana. Okay, so here's the Two of Wands just so you can see it. What I love about the Two of Wands, and again, recently, so it does feel like this process for whoever's watching is related to the masculine. We're getting a lot of twos, and recently I was told that the twos are a very masculine number, which is interesting. To me, it's more union-based or like coming together with the inner self. But yeah, so it's just like, okay, like where is this grieving process or the longing taking you from the death of this process, or of this thing, of this person, of this relationship, of this job? Now, I love the invitation here, and what's cool again, because it's reversed in this thing. When I look at these cards, she's looking back, so it shows it's like, how am I weaving from what this? But when you look at these cards, she's looking forward. When I look at this card here, she's looking back. When I place it down for me, she's looking forward. So what I really feel here with this and these kind of facing each other is like the looking of both directions of like, okay, how is this past shaping me? How can I take these gifts, these things, this grief energy, and how can I transmute it into something that really serves not only myself, but the greater world, you know? And looking back at the old world, what was it in the old world that was that wasn't working? You know, how can you use the contrast to really assess and build what is working or will work for this new world, for this new earth that we're building? All right. And what I get with the Star energy and the rebirth of this is limitless possibilities. This is, and I like that there's a lot of the colors here that she's bringing down. So it's like using this process again, and this is the gold energy too. It's all this weaving and, this Fool energy How do you use these two to really bring in this new beautiful life? And I feel so much empowerment with this star card. You know, this could be like the Make-A-Wish card. This could be Happily Ever After. This is kind of like the fairy tale ending. It's also what I think is like, your dreams are tangible. What you envision is absolutely true. And she feels so strong in this. She feels in her magic. I feel like this is a feminine energy of the magician as well, yet she's rooted to the earth. She's sitting she's sitting outside looking at the night sky and saying, wow, look at this infinite realm of possibility. Look at all these resources available to me. I am going to pull them down and embody them so I may live my greatest life and in my highest purpose, so that I can serve the most of all. So how does this show up in the third energy in this situation? All right. I picked it up upside down, which I didn't mean to do. But it is the reverse Chariot. And what I find interesting is we've got like the colors of these cards, right? I'm holding them up so weird. But it's coming down. So what I'm seeing, and what the message I get from the third energy here, is there is a quickening. All right. So from the death to the pulling down of the vision, things are happening fast and furious. So if you are getting indications that a death process is coming up for you, or you are in the midst of it, know that these energies are going to move faster than it maybe a traditional grief experience would, because you've got so much power and movement behind it. The Chariot also really is an indication here that there's some great movement. There's perhaps some travel tied along with it that could help with this process, with the alchemical process of moving through with the grief, moving through with the endings, and cultivating the new simultaneously. Now, there's been a lot of this. I've found in my own life that it's not as much anymore of like, oh, it's like an ending and a beginning simultaneously. Because I'm getting indications of endings before they're coming. So I'm having a slower process of letting things go while simultaneously building the new as I'm letting them go. It's like, okay, well, that's not going to serve me anymore. Oh, look at this. Here's an example of what this feels like in my body. And the more you can listen to that, our bodies are so wise, and typically we can feel what's coming. Not only can we sense danger before it's there most of the time, we can also sense joy. We can also sense love. So like using your physical intuition, using that body as a vessel to really guide your process forward, so that the steadfast, the speed, the balance, the harmony of these wishes and these things coming through can really come into greater awareness. When I said that, I looked at the thing and it was 1717, which adds up to 8. And so I just felt very infinite possibilities moving through. So all of this is feeling really good, and I'm really proud of you for all of you working through and moving through this process, because it can be dense, it can be hard, but it can also be joyful and exciting and nostalgic and filled with love, radiance, and abundance. Okay, so we're going to just draw in one shamanic oracle card to grid it in, to ground it down. And the card is 29 changes. Okay, well, of course it is. 29 changes. Well, we were just talking about death and rebirth and all that it brings. Now, I love this because there's a lot of sacred spiral energy, which is a symbol of mine I'm quite fond of. I've got it on my wrist, although it's quite faded at this point. Got that tattoo many years ago. But as we kind of assess these changes and this feeling, whew, I just got like a burst of like passion up my or not passion, but like fire up my spine. So there might be like a Kundalini awakening happening with these changes. There might be like this sudden cleansing and clearing. You might go to sleep one night feeling like crap and wake up the next day feeling like total bliss. Your dreams can do this transmute. You can extra transmute things fast in dreams. I know for my own process, I was needing to have a conversation that didn't end up happening with somebody. So the last 2 days, I've gone into the dream realm and talked to them with their higher selves. And we've had long conversations where not only have I stood up for myself, I also called them out, held them accountable. And I know that I'm talking to their higher selves, and we're having this growth process because that's what we were meant to do. However, the person's just not available to do that in the physical because they're feeling so dense with their own fears and their own things going on. So, you know, regardless of where you are at this process, like, you can always talk to your own higher self if you're struggling. You can work with a healer or an intuitive. I mean, we all have those abilities, but it's nice to talk to somebody who's maybe been on an aspect of that journey before to help guide your process. I think a lot of us, and especially in this new age of Aquarius on this new earth, like, we're coming together in more community because we're able to hear and understand each other's stories and use those as medicine to guide as the individual goes through those acts of initiation or those transitions, those death and renewal processes. But this is all really good stuff. Please reach out if you're having a hard time. I would love to connect with you. Just send me an email at prismhealers@gmail.com. And overall, I'm excited for what's moving through. I do, looking at these cards too, just one, you know, I do a quick review at the end, but the Chariot is reversed, so I do feel that, like, there could be some delays in the process as well. There is, Mercury retrograde will be happening this summer. It's from, like, July to August, so just kind of be aware of that if you are making travel plans. I guess, like, one little note to be aware of. I always try to just be mindful of those things, but, you know, you also not let that dictate the journey. Sometimes I find, like, if I know there's going to be delays, then I can just move with them in a flow versus feeling like I'm need to be in control or get impatient. Anyway, very beautiful reading. Thanks for tuning in today, and blessed be. Reach out if you need anything.